You are watching the Hockey in the Fort podcast with Nick, Don, Ed, and Larry. Tonight's sponsor is Full Circle Grill and Barbecue. You haven't eaten until you've eaten at Full Circle Grill and Barbecue. With innovative brewery-inspired eats and vegan options, you'll never want to leave. Full Circle inside of Two Toms Brewing Company at 3676 Wall Street in Fort Wayne. Now for tonight's guest. This young man has had a very trying rookie season. What with the coronavirus, the shortened season, his subsequent attempt to enter Canada, and that country's refusal to accept him, well, I guess that's more than most 36-year-olds can handle. Here's Ben Boudreau. Now to start tonight's show, here's Nick, Don, Ed, and Larry. Take it away, boys.
All right, here we are. We had a little sound issue here, but we are on. You got to see the puck drop and the game begin. Shot and save put on Richardson, and he shuts it down here at the minute 16 mark of the first period. Well, good evening, folks, and it's been a long season, but here we are in the 2025-2026 APHL season. It's the Governor's Cup on the line, and Buffalo, it's do or die, but it's 60 minutes away for the Distillers, so it should be pretty exciting here as we saw the Distillers on the road up in Buffalo picking up 2 wins and had to get that second win down to the wire with only about 36 seconds left in the third on a shorthander from Neely. Over to Hess to pick up the game winner there and bring the excitement back here into Fort Wayne. So it will be an exciting game here. As the action started up in Buffalo with the excitement, it'll be carried over in Fort Wayne. So who's it going to be? We'll sit back and enjoy this on YouTube Live. Remember, when the Distillers are in town, it's hockey time in Fort Wayne. And off the face-off just outside of the Teching Dome, sip back into the Distillers' defensive zone. Pushed out by Richardson, got it up. From Tattoo now, it's going to be put back into the Distillers' zone. And the pickup comes back into the Buffalo zone. Tattoo on the pickup, sends it across. Comes back to him. And now with the puck still in the zone, almost picked away there by Hess. Kept in to Thornton. Still working to keep it in, and he does. Back in the corner it goes. Now picked up by everyone on him, counted Bauer. And he shoots and he scores! Brett Bauer picks up the battle along the blue line right in front of Buffalo bench. He was sneaking around back in the corner. And on the keeper, he picks up and he gets past the defensive effort there of everyone. And he just played Burkle and found the back of the net coming in at 2 minutes and 13 seconds of the first period. Brett Bauer on the goal. Assisted from Thornton. And Hess maybe, we'll see. They say unassisted so far. We'll see if that gets corrected. Face-off's going to be on the glove side of Burkle in Buffalo zone. On the pickup, Tempest with it here. Trying to keep it in. Woods, he puts it on target. Sticked up on the glass, now picked up and sent around. Buffalo on the backhand, gets rid of it. Pushed back in, off the hands of Ockwalt. Bauer, center ice, gets through with the puck. He's tied up with it. He's still with it. And he's finally pushed off, and he was quadruple team. Good effort by Buffalo. Stretch pass. Kipner is in the corner. Ockwalt sends it around. Down he goes. But it's going to be picked up. Buffalo trying to answer here, putting the force on now. Puck, also with it here. Gets pushed out. Keller with it, goes across. On the hit. Here we go. Distillers with the carry here. Neely with the puck. Neely sends it across. Comes back to him on the backhand. He can't get it going. Puck's loose in the corner. Picked up by Summit City. Distillers with it here. Trying to get it sent back was Neely. And now it's going to be kept as Ormsby sends it across, and it's going to be pushed up by Nichols. right in front of the Distillers bench. On the pass now, trying to hang on to it is Arnold. Arnold with it here, retreats on the boards. Sends it, Neely will go after it, as well as Wallem. Keller with it now. Keller backhands it out into the neutral zone, and he gets a pass off there. Now working with it here. From behind, the puck is loose. Penalty coming up against. See, it's going to be on both. Mallinson heading into the box, as well as Nickel. So Jason Mallinson and Antoine Nickel both in the penalty box for roughs. That coming into 3 minutes and 48 seconds of the first period. Face-off will go on the glove side of Luke Richardson back in the Distillers defensive zone. Mallinson, one of the starters tonight, as well as Garrett Downing, Michael Keller, Chris Burkle in net, Brian Losel, and Mike Scardino for the Buffalo Tempest. On the puck drop, it's going to be kept. Losel with it here, takes a shot, trying to ricochet it around with the screen set up with Stewart. It's going to be picked up by Hess now. Hess sends it over to Bauer, but it just takes a bounce under the stick. On the pass, Bauer gets it back, but Stewart couldn't hang on to it. Splits the D, Losel going after back with Hess. Sends it back. Stewart picks up. Stewart would dump it in. Stopped by Richardson, but it slips into the corner. And a penalty coming up against the Distillers. Burkle heads in. Losel gets the shot. And a boarding coming up against Summit City. Aiden Witt, as the puck wound in the corner, he plastered his guy into the board. So now here's a chance for Buffalo to try to even up the score here, as they have the man advantage here. Time of the penalty coming in 4 minutes and 24 seconds of the first period. Face off on the stick side of Luke Richardson. On the drop. Picked up right away by Distillers, and they clear it down. Burkle stops it behind the net. Now it's brought up. On the pass now, carrying it up. Trying to get something going there, but Distillers pick up, send it down. Stewart will chase it out. Burkle will stop it. Stewart with it here. Goes to Hernsack. Hernsack with it, goes across. And the pass gets tipped up into the Summit City bench. We'll see a face-off just outside of the defensive zone of Summit City. Tipped up by Matt Stewart. You see he was trying to pick up the cross-ice stretch pass. Running some time off the clock. Must forgot to turn it on at some point. All right, here we go. A minute 27 of the man advantage for Buffalo. Face-off will go center ice. Still 51 seconds on the offsetting roughs. Stewart versus Arnold on the puck drop. On the face-off, Buffalo comes out with it. Stewart pushes it back. Now the pass over to Hernsack. Hernsack with it here, trying to get through. Stewart tries to pick up. He may get it back. Now it's going to be picked up and cleared down ice off the hands of Ormsby. Broken stick center ice. Burkle on the hold behind the net. Now the clock isn't moving, so not sure. So a long minute 27. Hernsack coming all the way in. Still with it here. He's going to feed point. Or he soft passes it, and it's going to be covered, as it was just poked up into the glove of Richardson. Kind of just set it right outside the crease there. As Corey Kiffner was just trying to redirect it in. Now we have the clock issue again, so we're going to see that wind down here. We'll see how much power play that Buffalo we'll have here. Showing under a minute now. All right, so here we go. Face off on the glove side of Luke Richardson. Buffalo picks up, sets up the point. Also sends it. Shot coming, save out. It comes on the rebound. Cleared off the boards by Ockwalt. Neely putting the pressure on point. Comes across. Hernsack gets it. Hernsack's going to walk in. Backhand pass. It's going to be poked out by Ockwalt. It's going to be held in. Back to Hernsack. Hernsack scooting all the way and goes across. Couldn't get it going here as the puck was lifted away from Matt Stewart. Stays back in. Now picked up. Hernsack's coming all the way and takes his shot. It's going to be poked out. Now it's going to be cleared. Picked up in the slot. And it's going to be hands and cleared by Neely. 19 seconds remaining on the penalty kill for Summit City. Also with it back behind the goal line in the defensive zone for Buffalo. Goes the lateral, off the boards, picked up. Trying to spoil it was Hess. On the reach, he wins the battle there. Perry trying to go back after it. He gets tied up in the corner behind. Back to full strength. And it's going to be kept by Bauer. Sends it, in and out of the stick of Hess. He rifled it in right in the crease. Goes across, going to be picked up with a shot. Picked up, stopped by Perry. Perry's trying to go after it here, picked up by Bauer. Bauer tries to send it up. Buffalo playing good defense. Here they go on the carry. It's going to be picked up. Hernsack dumps it in. Loza goes after it. And it's going to be played by Richardson. Ends up in the corner, soft. And it's going to be cleared along the boards. Picked up by Keller back in Buffalo defensive zone. On the pass, taken away, and gathered back up. It's Downey. Downey on the pass across. Here comes an effort now for Buffalo with a shot high off the glass. Rounds out of the corner. It's going to be kept in by Keller. On a redirect, almost worked there by Buffalo, but shut down by Richardson. On the effort from Hayden Flint. Keller on the face-off, wins it back to Summit City. Ehrman picks up off the board. Sees the pass just out of reach of Thornton. Goes back on an icing against Summit City. But they beat back. Thorny came back. Now going after it here. And it's a battle along the boards. It's going to be picked up. Oh, kind of fanned on it was Keller. Now it's going to be kept in. Kucharski with it. Feeds it into the corner. Ehrman goes after it. Tries to drop on the pass there as he was hit. Just get out of reach here from Diener. Ockwalt comes back, but he's got pressure with Flint. On the pass, Ehrman puts the hit on. It gets in. Keller's going to pick it up here. Takes a shot, comes out of the pads, and another effort, and it bounces, and it's going to be picked up. Buffalo with a couple chances. Flint will pick up, feeds it back into the corner. Hanging on to it here with a Buffalo trying to feed. Keller on the keep, he's going to walk it in. Takes a shot. Stopped by Richardson, sends it out. Ehrman picks up. And it takes a bounce through the stick of Tattoo on a change for the Distillers, so he retreats back to goal line. And the pass across. On a battle right in the scoring circle. Stewart has to go after it. On a chase here. Sean Stewart picks up, sends it back. And it's going to be pushed out of the neutral zone, or into the neutral zone by Kyle Wilkins. Now picked up on an offsides as Arnold picks up and tries to march in. 11:16 remaining in the first period, 1-0 in favor of the Summit City Distillers. Face off just outside of Buffalo's defensive zone. On tap, here we go. Stewart versus Arnold on the face-off. Puck still sitting for the taking. It's going to be picked up by Arnold. Arnold tried to feed it, but puts it into a crowd of Buffalo Tempest. Hernsack picks up. He's on the carry. Gets the puck back as he lost it for a second. In the slot, taking a shot into the glove of Luke Richardson. Face-off coming up on his stick side in the Summit City defensive zone. Kiffner on the face-off. Ormsby picks it up and sends it around. Bauer waits on it, picks up, sends it over to Hess. Goes in and out of his stick, but he's still going to work it. Sends it up over to Perry. Perry almost spoiled the clear there by Buffalo as they gathered it up. Ormsby picks up, sends it back to Nickel. Nickel. And an icing coming up against Summit City. They're not going to leg this one out. I think the pass intended to Perry was way out of reach on a bad angle attempt. Approaching the halfway mark, face off in the Summit City defensive zone. Corey Kiffner versus Cody Hess. Stick side of Luke Richardson. On the drop, Losel picks up. Winds up with a shot, but it's blocked by Perry. Hess trying to pick it up, and now it's going to be picked up. Downey with it here, handsing it through, trying to feed, and it's still loose. Poked out by Richardson into the corner. Picked up by Ormsby. Ormsby on the carry. Sends it over to Perry. Perry picks up. Perry sends it in the slot to Bauer. Throws it in the feet, goes underneath. Now it's going to be picked up. Downey on the carry now. Trying to get it through. The big guy gets a hold of the puck as he enters the corner. Kiffner on the keep. Downey reaches for it. Keller with it now. Back to Downey. Bear ties him up. Hess picks up. Hess looking on the quarterback. Launches it down. Bauer can't get a hold of it, and it's a no ice. He says he tipped it. Sent back around. Now with the pass. Sent around. It'll be out of the defense. It goes off the skate of Witt and just kind of lays his. Everybody can't get a hold of the puck. It was in the spin cycle there, almost invisible. Caught right on front of the Buffalo bench. Put back in. It's a battle. Schmidt was getting it out. Woods was going to carry in. Bauer was still in. Keller comes in and plays his stick and goes off sides. So we're just under the halfway mark with 9:18 remaining in the first. Face off just outside of the Buffalo Tempest defensive zone. Garrett Downey versus Josh Kucharski on the puck drop. And it gets in, but it is picked up by Buffalo. Splitting circles in the slot. Zorro with the pass, turns it over. Picked up Kucharski, sends it over. Woods with a windup, takes a shot in and out of the glove with the door open. It's going to be kept in by Diener. Diener got to work to get it, but it's kept in the attacking zone. Schmidt picks up. Schmidt launches it down the boards. Ehrman slows it down. Aqua gets a piece of it. Ehrman with it now. Ehrman off the boards. It's going to go over to Woods. Woods tries to put it in. He's struggling, and it's going to be taken by Sorrow as it gets put in. Richardson sends it around. It's going to be picked up Wallem. Wallem caught on the feet. It's going to try to push it out. It's going to be kept in by Downey. Downey trying to get something going here. He's still with the puck here. It's stick lift by Aqua. Shot goes around behind. Diener goes into the corner as well as Kucharski. Puck's loose. Back Aqua with it now. Back behind the goal line. Over to Wallem. Wallem spins it out. Dominsack puts it in. Off the board. Tipped in from Kucharski. Wallem will chase it out. Dominsack will pick it up along the boards right in front of the Buffalo bench. Sent down the boards into the corner. Nickel goes after it. Pushed out. Tattoo picks up the intercept here. He's in the slot. And it's going to be a stick lift from Neely. Gives a chance for Diener to pick up. Diener on the carry here. He'll probably drop. Now he's going to take the shot. He tries to get the pass over to Wallem. Kept in by Neely. Dominsack sends it around. Perez sends it over to Tattoo. It's going to be picked up by Arnold. Arnold sends it. It's going to be picked up. Wow, and he couldn't get the angle because Neely was in spin cycle. Nickel just keeps it in. Catches the player back to Neely. Neely trying to work it here. Now it's going to be a battle back. Tattoo goes up against Wallem. Stewart with it here. Tied up along the boards. Anyone's puck's going to come out. Distillers over to Arnold. Trying to get it going here, and it's going to be poked. Picked up by Buffalo. Stewart tries to send it, and it's going to be picked up now. Dominsack with it here. Dominsack tries to get over to Hernsack. Dominsack almost gets it back to him from Hernsack. The puck comes out into the neutral zone. It's going to be played by Arnold over to Hess. Hess trying to look. Hess takes a shot. In and out it goes. He gets the rebound. He's hanging on to it. Still working it. Sends it across. And he tried to feed Bowers. He was in the slot there just across the blue line. Ormsby Looked like the pass was intended to him, but it got spoiled. Nickel pushes it on the board. Stewart goes after it. And the pass is broken up. Hernsack feeds it. Stewart with a look. Takes a shot, and it's held on by Richardson. 6:38 remaining here in the first period. Face off in the Summit City defensive zone on the stick side of Luke Richardson. Pass versus Hernsack on the puck drop, and it comes to Distillers. Pushed out, Scardino with it here. Scardino sends it around. Richardson will shut it down, and leave it behind. Hess picks up the pass. From Witt to Bear. Bear coming in. Bear feeds it. Hernsack will pick up the gift. Along the boards, here he goes. Pressure coming up. 3-on-2 developing here as Bear gets back in time. Shot and save off the boards. Puck's loose, no one sees it. It's underneath. On an interference. It's underneath a Buffalo player. Looked like he was a little slow to get up, but he's all right. Penalty on Jensen Bear for interference. And another opportunity to try to tie this one up is Buffalo. And they've seasoned for the last 13:55. Kiffner versus Hess on the puck drop. Stick side of Luke Richardson. Face-off comes back to Summit City. And they wallop it down ice. Perry going after it. And it's broken up as Burkle tried to get it out. But Hernsack picks it up. Saul also, as he was working back to pick up the puck, the pressure was put on by Perry. And Hess finds himself in the penalty box here, and that kind of evens everything up for at least a minute 50. So it's a 10-second differential on the penalties. So we'll have some 4-on-4 action. Face off just outside of, well, Perry in as well, so that will give still a power play for Buffalo as they both went at it. All right, so Buffalo still in the driver's seat here. Kiffner versus Hess on the puck drop. Comes back to Hernsack. Hernsack hangs on to it. Still working with it here as the pressure was put on by Hess. Kiffner through the feet. Hernsack could pick up it. It fed to Stewart. Stewart with it here. Stewart gets it broken up by Bauer for a second. Diener on the action as well, trying to slow it down. Stewart picks it back up and goes back to Scardino. Scardino with a shot blocked off the skate of Hess, so it sails out wide. Kept in Downey, back to Scardino. Scardino with a look. Gives it over to Stewart. Stewart tries to get a shot in, or at least feeding it. It was broken up on the shin pads of Diener. Hernsack with it now, and he feeds it over to Stewart. Stewart in, tries to feed, and it is there for the taking, and it is shut down. Good screen set up by Kiffner, but it went through his feet and shut down by Richardson. 5:13 remaining here in the first. Power play for the Buffalo Tempest. They have the face-off stick side of Luke Richardson in the attacking zone for Buffalo. Kiffner versus Arnold. On the drop, Stewart picks up, feeds back to Hernsack. Hernsack will send it back to Stewart. Gets tied up by Neely. Neely working, strong in the corner. Comes back to Hernsack. Hernsack does wisely go across. Shot! Goes high from Scardino. Arnold picks up. Arnold sends it over to Neely. Neely with it here. Here comes Arnold. Broken up. Good play by Scardino. Hernsack on the carry here, drops back to Kiffner. Kiffner tries to send it back. Around it goes. Nickel goes into the corner versus Downey. The puck's loose. Now it comes back. Played by Richardson. Grabbed out of there by Arnold. Arnold wisely sends it out. But it's chopped down and kept in, at least to the neutral zone by Sorrow. He sends it back, and now here we go. Buffalo looking to march in. Stewart gets it going. Kiffner picks up. Drops it back into the corner. Stewart goes back to gather it up. Tied up with Wallem. Downey in on the action. Tries to feed it back. Still behind goal line. It will eventually come up to Sorrow. Sorrow will pick up. High slot. Takes a shot, and they score. His nickel was tied up with Stewart. And on the screen, Richardson never saw it. It's an even strength goal. I believe, I'm not sure if that penalty cleared, didn't look. But still on the momentum there. Might have been a power play goal, but the seconds were winding down. So at 15:57, Buffalo finds the back of the net. On the pickup, Ehrman picks it up. Sorrow on the stick play there, pushes it back out. Witt will go after it as well as Kiffner. Kiffner trying to pick it up. Ehrman puts the hit on and picks up the puck. Still working on it. The puck is loose now, picked up. Now Thornton. Thornton with a look. Still hanging on to it. Goes across. Caught in some feet. Still working on it here. Thornton picked it up now. Thornton feeds it along the boards. It's going to be picked up by Buffalo. And as it comes across, Thornton's going to try to beat the race against Flynn. Flynn picks up and sends it down, but he connects to Witt. Aiden Witt on the pass. Gets through Flynn up to Cody Hess. Cody Hess with a windup, takes a shot. Pad save by Burkle. Now the puck's back behind, loose on the backhand on attempted clear. Keller picks up. Keller's the only man up. He's got some help coming of Flynn. Flynn will pick it up now. Doesn't see it. It's caught in his skate, I believe, and it is. Boy, if he would have known, he would have just skated in and put his leg in the net before anyone noticed it was caught in his boot. Downey versus Hess, just outside of the Summit City zone. Face-off win to Summit City, picked up by Bauer. Bauer sends it back. Ockwall with it, over to Diener. Diener sends it around, goes past Ockwall, picked up Downey. Downey fans on it, but he gets the puck. Takes a shot, finds the glove of Luke Richardson. 2:54 remaining in the first period. Tied up ones, face-off in the Summit City defensive zone on tap. Hess versus Downey. And the puck's dropped back, picked up Ockwall. Downey goes and puts the pressure on, puts the hit, turns it over to Keller. Comes back, Lozo on the windup, takes a shot. It almost redirected in, picked up by Summit City, picked up now. Perry with it now. Here comes Perry with Bauer. Perry takes a shot, and he finds the stoppage of Burkle. Face off in the Tempest defensive zone on the stick side of Chris Burkle. And on the face-off, it's going to be picked up. Arnold with the carry, feeds it, trying to get it going, trying to get a shot, and he scores! Well, the Distillers answer back. They pick up the face-off and just fed it up in the slot. It just kind of wasn't pretty, but it just found its way with an attempt, and it just goes over the stick side of Chris Burkle and sips in the net. Thomas Neely leading the way, coming in at 17-28. Face-off, center ice. And Stewart is put out. And Stewart comes in on the face-off when Neely pokes it back. Trying to get something here. Arnold feeds it out. And back it goes, Buffalo. On the stretch pass, broken up, stolen away by Thomas Neely. Tries to get it through. He's got it in with a shot, but it's stopped. Sorrell picks up and goes to clear. And he does get it out into the neutral zone. At least Ormsby goes back to gather it up. Nickel off the boards, out of the reach of Wallem. Then it's going to be turned over, fed, over. Now picked up, played. Stewart picks up and trying to hang on to it. That was Sean Stewart. Trying to keep it in. Still working on it here. Now picked up by Chris Wallem. Wallem feeds it up to Kucharski. Goes in and out of the stick, but he's going to still hang on to it as he gets through Losel. Losel working good on defense, and he comes out with it. And it comes down into the neutral zone, gathered up by Aiden Witt. Witt on the pass, broken up, but picked up to Ehrman. Ehrman sends it over to Kucharski. Kucharski on the carry here. He's got no help as of yet. Takes the shot. Finds the glove of Chris Burkle. As the Summit City Distillers are regrouping. Now they'll have everybody in play on the face-off on the glove side of Chris Burkle in the Tempest zone. 1:12 remaining in the first period. 2-1 Summit City. Kucharski versus Downey, and he comes back and looking for it, trying to get it going. Ehrman puts the hit on. Cycling back behind the goal line, broken up by Ehrman. And he's trying to get a shot off here as he is triple team, still has the puck, and it's going to be still with it here. Fights in the corner. He's got the slot there, right on top of the crease was Thornton. He did pick it up, but he had a lot of pressure. Thornton will pick it up there as it was kept in by Bear. Bear with it here. He's going to go ahead and launch. Takes a shot. Trying to redirect in was Thornton. Now picked up, and it is going to be dumped back in on delayed offside. Now picked up by Tempest, under a minute remaining. Now with the puck here, trying to get it going. And it goes through the stick of Bear. Picked up. Witt sends it into the corner, but it's going to be Keller who picks up. Hess spoils it for a second. Bear with it here. They're trying to get it pushed through. All tied up along the boards. 20 seconds remains. The puck comes all the way around over to Losel. Losel with a look. Blocked by Perry. Gets it right back. Shot. Stopped by Witt. Picked up by Hess. 11 seconds remaining. Hess on the carry here. He's going to go in strong. He's going to try to get it going. Takes a backhander, and it's shut down with 5 seconds remaining here in the first period. Good stop by Chris Burkle. Stayed with Hess advancing, knowing the clock was running. Knew he wasn't going to try to set up a play or a pass. Face off on the stick side of Burkle. Sean Stewart versus Cody Hess on the drop. And the drop finally comes, and the Tempest launch it down. The clock's not going. And that will do it for the period. So the Summit City Distillers regain the lead. They are up 2-1 as they are taking the break here before the ice cut. We'll be back for the second period action. You're watching the Summit City Distillers hockey live on YouTube here in Fort Wayne. We'll be right back. are back for second period action. 2:13. It was Brett Bauer who saw the back of the net, who put on the scoring, help from Thornton and Hess. 15:57. It was Sorrow who picked up just the tail end of the power play, as Angelo Sorrow found the back of the net to tie up the game, but that was 15:57. At 17:28, it was Thomas Neely who squeaked one in just right there in the slot, and as he was just kind of walking up there, it had a lot of pressure put on by Buffalo, but it found its way past Chris Burkle, and it puts up the Distillers 2-1. 11-19 on shots, 19 in favor of Buffalo. See how this second period will play out. We are ready for action here. We didn't have the sound working, so sorry about that early on, but we should be good for right now, we hope. So here we are, 20 minutes on the clock, fresh sheet of ice, face-off, center ice, and it comes back to the Distillers on the play off the boards. Tied up with the linesman, and it finds its way back. Lozo will pick up. Trying to get it going here. Hess picks up, feeds it across, trying to get it on the reach, could not get it. It was tipped out by Arnold as Bauer was trying to pick up. Ormsby with it now, out of reach, so he's got to go for it in the corner, and he's got some pressure put on him by Melanson. On the pass, it's going to be kept in. Lozo keeps it. Hess sends it out. Lozo will pick up and sends it around. Out of the reach, just goes through the stick of Ormsby. Downey with a look here. Gets a shot, save Richardson. Face off coming up on his stick side. Ernsack versus Arnold. Face-off's going to be picked up, played by the Distillers off the boards. Stewart trying to keep it in. Kept in by Lozo. On the reach here, Buffalo in control. Tries to feed it soft. Kept it in the slot. Alex Arnold on the carry now for Summit City. Arnold gets through a hip check. Down he goes, puck comes loose, Lozo sends it around. Battle in the corner, it's tied up. And it comes around. Broken up, picked up by Neely. Neely with a shot! And he clinks the pipes. Witt on the keep, sends it into the corner, and around it goes. It's going to be poked up. Buffalo working to get it out. Ernsack backhands it out into the neutral. And he connects it over to Sean Stewart. Sean Stewart trying to feed it. It's going to be poked. Shut down by Richardson on the pass. Almost sent in by Bear. And Sean Stewart was trying to feed it over to Matt Stewart. Richardson stayed with it and shut it down. I've done that many a times, trying to break a pass, essentially shoot on my own goalie. Sometimes it's gone in. Face off, stick side of Luke Richardson in the Summit City zone, picked up by Summit City for the moment. Ehrman trying to tomahawk it out. Picked up, played off the glass. Sorrow on the keep, goes in and out. Kiffner with it now. Kiffner sends it in. Shut down by Richardson, picked up by Ockwald. Ockwald with it now. Rides the rails, sent down the ice by Ehrman. Icing coming up against Summit City, but it's a race down there as Thornton will get back there. No ice. Thornton goes back up against down. Thornton comes out with it. Feeds it back. Ehrman trying to pick it up. It's tied up under the skates. Buffalo with it for a second. It's going to be Ockwald. Ockwald with a shot. Stopped by Burkle. He pushed it in the corner. Thornton picks it up, sends it around. Carlisle trying to get a hold of it here. Has it for a second. Ockwald comes in and chops it out. And it is going to be picked up by Ehrman back into the neutral, retreating back into the Summit City's defensive zone. Ehrman with a shot off the board, or a pass off the boards. Try to go to Thornton. Thornton on a change. And a penalty coming up on a slash against Buffalo. So Corey Kiffner heading into the penalty box. He's now a tenant in the Distillers penalty box. And Summit City will see if they can let him out of that lease early. Time of the penalty will be 2 minutes and 29 seconds of the second period. On the slash on Kiffner. Face-off will be on the glove side of Burkle. On the drop, Stewart wins the draw there. Puck stays in the zone, and it's a battle. Now it's going to be picked up. Ormsby with it here, drops it back over to Neely. Neely with it here, back over. Shot just rolls off the stick. Stopped by Burkle, picked up by Hess. Hess sends it back into the corner to Ormsby. Ormsby back to Hess. Hess will go back to Ormsby. Ormsby goes across, out of the reach of Arnold, but he gathers it up. Sends it over to Neely. Neely back to Arnold. Arnold will feed back to Neely. Neely goes over to Hess. Hess tries to pick up, goes through the stick, feeds it into the corner. Picked up by Ormsby. Ormsby's got to pick it up, though. Now he has it. He's going to feed Point. And that's to Arnold over to Hess. Hess with a one-timer, shut down Burkles. He holds the pipes. Minute 13 remaining on the power play for Summit City. Face off on the stick side of Chris Burkle. Kyle Domensak versus Thomas Neely. Domensak wins it, draws it back, and it's cleared down by Buffalo, played by Richardson. Sends it behind. Now it's picked up and brought up by Ormsby. Ormsby on the carry. Austin Ormsby trying to get through, and it's poked away. Loso stayed in. Now tried to by Neely. Arnold picks up, keeps Domensak from going on the race. Now picked up Arnold with the carry here, and he sets up. Feeds it over. Neely hangs on to it. Neely goes over to Hess. Hess goes across over to Arnold. Arnold's coming in. Drops it with a one-time. Couldn't get a go, but tipped it. Was Ormsby from Neely. But into the glove of Chris Burkle. He'll take that slow-mo. .35 seconds on the power play for Summit City. Face off on the stick side of Chris Burkle. Josh Kucharski versus Garrett Downey on the drop. It's going to be picked up by Summit. Wallem there. Now it comes out. And it's a race down ice as Antoine Nickel goes down and he picks it up. Bear gathers it here. Keller comes in and spoils it away, but it's going to be picked up by Wallem. Wallem's got the slot. He's going to come in. And it's stopped. Good effort put on by Kyle Wilkins. Bear will pick up the puck. Tries to drop it back to Bauer. Bauer keeps it alive. He's pushed off the play. Picked up by Bear. Back to full strength. Wallem trying to feed it across. Bear picks up. You see he went up against, I believe, Domensak. They're trying to go all the way in, and it's going to be up front. Picked up Kucharski with the shot. Stop. As Burkle's down. Now Burkle's set. Goes out into the corner. Picked up by Bauer. Bauer's feeding. Up to Aqua. Aqua with a shot, but it's pushed, tipped out by Kucharski. Kucharski keeps it alive. Picked up now by Buffalo. Trying to work along the board. Into the corner. Downey with it here. Sends it around. Diener on the keep. Diener's got pressure coming from Keller. Wallem picks up. Downey retreats. Sends it. Tried to pick it up with Kucharski. Keller couldn't hang on to it. Aqua with a keep. Aqua with a shot. Goes wide. Picked up by Kucharski. Kucharski sends it around. Keller will go after it. Up against Aqua. Aqua tries to sip through. Pushes it in the corner. Keller hangs on to it. Melanson stretches up ice. Melanson looking for it. Oh, on the whiff. It's going to be kept in the zone. Sent by Bauer, but turned over. Now Keller with it here. Keller on the carry, looking for help. He gets all the way through. Tries to get a backhand effort. Comes all the way around. Tried to Michigan. Poked out. Hess will gather it up. Hess with it here. He feeds it up to Bauer. Bauer with the carry now. Bauer's got Perry and Hess. Hess with it. Tries to poke it back, but it's spoiled. Now here comes the effort. 4-on-2 coming up now for Buffalo. Shot coming. High off the glass, wide. Recovered. And just seeping through. Good lift by Diener. Hess will pick it up. Hess sends it down ice. Broken into the boot. And picked up and played by Scardino. Scardino between the circles. Passes it over to Stewart. Matt Stewart gives it across. It's over to Hernsick. Hernsick with a shot stopped by Richardson. Face-off coming up on his glove side in the Summit City zone. 13:40 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Distillers. Sean Stewart versus Alex Arnold in the face-off circle. On the drop, it's going to be picked up by Nickel for Distillers, but it's tipped up into the safety netting. And they call a delay of game on Antoine Nickel, trying to clear the puck. So here comes a power play. It was successful for Buffalo in their second attempt. And they're going to try to even this score up here. Kiffner versus Arnold. Stick side of Richardson on the face-off. It's going to be picked up by Summit City, and they clear it, splitting the D, putting it on target. Burkle pushes it up to Losel. Losel with it here. Losel sends it up on the puck carry. Gets it through. It's Hernsack. Hernsack retreats back. Looks for the setup here. Neely puts pressure on. It's going to be picked up by Ormsby, trying to get rid of it. Neely's trying to spoil it up. And this time it rolls up into the glass. Up into the safety netting. The face-off will stay in the defensive zone for Summit City on the glove side of Luke Richardson. Minute 31 on the man advantage for Buffalo. Sean Stewart on the puck drop. And it's going to be picked up. Hernsack will get it. Actually, he'll go behind as Kiffner had came in. Buffalo still in control. With a pass across, Hernsack picks up. Hernsack feeds it over. Loza with a look, sends it across. Stewart trying to pick it up. Hernsack with it here. Hernsack with a shot, with it sitting up front, poked out. Sean Stewart recovers. Back to Matt Stewart. Hernsack calling for it. Back over to Sean. Sean trying to feed it up. Kiffner's tying up the crease. Now it's picked up with a shot, but it's going to go soft. Kiffner there couldn't do anything with it. Sean Stewart feeds it back to Matt Stewart. Matt Stewart goes across over to Hernsack. Hernsack goes wide. Kiffner tried to be effective there, but it went way wide. Picked up. Buffalo still in control. Minute 31. Now Hernsack coming up. And the pass from Lozel. He finds a corner, gets top shelf over the left shoulder of Luke Richardson, and it's another power play goal. So Summit City has to stay out of the box if they want to stay in the lead. So also coming out, picking up the goal there at 6 minutes 52. Well, now the clock's running again. It was 6:52. Who knows what it really is? So we're waiting on the clock to tick down. Not sure what's going on with it. I don't know if they're trying to tick down that penalty that's up there. There's 32 seconds, 31, so we'll wait for it to tick down, I guess. Well, all right, they cleared it. 12:06 will be the clock time here. Face off center ice. Garrett Downey versus Cody Hess after the tying goal by Buffalo. On the face off, Hess sends it back to Diener. Diener tries to push it around, and it's picked up, played by Perry. Now Tattoo with it here back. Sends it back around to Wilkins. Wilkins picks it up. Wilkins back to Tattoo. Tattoo with it here, and now it's picked up. Downey on the carry now. Downey coming in, loses the puck. Gives a gift to Hess. Perry picks up. Goes in with Bauer. Tries to feed it over to Bauer on a spin move pass, but it's broken up on the play there by Wilkins. Downey coming in. He's got a pass coming, but it's broken up on a hit from Perry. Aquad on the carry now. Taken away by Wilkinson. Send it around. Or Mellinson. Hess hangs onto the puck, carrying it in. Wilkins picks up, sends it around. Diener couldn't keep it in the skate. Aquat comes back to pick it up back into the Summit City zone. Pressure coming on from Keller. Diener pops it in, Aquat with it here. Aquat wants to give it up to Hess, but Hess is now going to be, he sends it in. Played by Burkle. Tattoo with it here. Sent around. Thornton put the pressure on. Thornton trying to push it up. It's going to be held. Perez now with the puck. Perez trying to get it going. Herman on the spoil. He's got it here, trying to get it off the boards. As he battles up against Dominsek. Puck's loose behind the net. Thornton going after it as well as Tattoo. Thornton comes out with it, but he goes down. He's going to try to hang on to the puck, but he's hit into the boards. It comes back to Nickel. Nickel feeds it back. Comes off a skate. Still trying to work it on the backhand effort. Goes wide. Wilkins picks up. Wilkins looking to carry or clear. And he clears it. And it'll be an icing coming up against Buffalo. He tried to get it on target, and he came pretty doggone close. But a change for Summit City in the attacking zone. Might be what's on tap to try to get the lead back. Just at the halfway mark, 10-12 remaining here in the second period. Tied up twos. Face off on the glove side of Burkle. On the face off, splits the defense. Going down. Perez kicking in the Jets here. Richardson had to come all the way around to clear it along the boards. It's going to be pushed out by Arnold. Sorrow tries to get it out. Now it's going to be picked up. Nickel gets it over to Neely. Neely on the backhand just puts it into the zone. Wallen's going after it up against Schmidt. They tie it up along the boards trying to pick it up. It's Dominsek. Wallen comes out with it for a second. And it's now, the puck's going to be loose. Still working along the boards just on top of the corner there. Still tied up along the boards, and around it goes. It's going to be picked up by Wallen. Wallen tries to send it back to Nickel, but he didn't touch it. So picked up, now played by Buffalo. Perez working on it here. He's got the speed. You just saw that. Neely hooks it over to Orange, or to Arnold. Arnold gets pulled down. Richardson head to the bench with a shot. Still hanging on to it. Ormsby feeds it over to Arnold. Arnold with a cross. Extra man on the ice as Richardson made it back. Neely sends it around. It's going to be picked up to Hess. Hess tries to get it going here, but it's going to be picked up by Hernsek. And that will be the effort there as we power play coming up for the Summit City Distillers. As we see in the penalty box, Spencer Hernsek on a holding. That coming in at 11 minutes and 1 second of the second period. Face-off is going to be on the glove side of Chris Burkle. On the drop, it's going to be picked up by Summit City. Ormsby feeds it back to Neely. Neely goes across over to Hess. Hess setting up. Taking a look, goes back over to Neely. Neely fans on it. It's going to be picked up and played instead. Now with the carry here, Sean Stewart trying to get it up to Matt Stewart. Trying to pick that up from Sean Stewart. All right, here we go. Summit City gets it back. Now they come into the zone. Arnold gets across. Perry with a look. Takes a shot. It hops up. Trying to play it. Losel, but it is Arnold now picks up. Arnold trying to get it through. Losel puts the pressure on him. Almost gets him off the puck. Tries to copy him off of it. Puts a check on. The puck comes around loose. Now going in. Matt Stewart trying to get it, but Perry gets it instead. Tries to feed it up front. It sits there for the moment. Hess will pick it up as he was waiting. Hess with a shot. It's going to be blocked. Poking it out. And he ends up covering it. Would be Chris Burkle. Minute 14 remaining on the man advantage for Summit City. Face-off still in the Tempest defensive zone. Corey Kiffner up against Josh Kucharski. On the glove side of Chris Burkle, 1 to Summit City. Bauer picks up. And now it's going to be hammered down into the Summit City zone on the clear from Flynn. Bear connects over to Wallem. Wallem sends it across. Gets it back. As he sent it to Nickel, Nickel sends it to him, and he's with it here. Takes a shot, but it's going to be blocked. It's a battle. So he goes up against Gardino. Feeds it. It's a give and go here. See if it goes, but it caught a skate, and it was stopped by Nickel for a second. Pressure coming on from Flynn. Sends it back. Now it's going to be picked up Kiffner. Kiffner with momentum. Gets it taken away for a second. Now picked up and played. Dropped on the pass from Kucharski over to Nickel. Now over to Hess. Hess coming in now. Hess trying to get through. Goes in. Shot blocked. He tried a wrister, caught it on a skate. Brett Bauer with it here. Bauer to Bear. Bear over to Hess. Hess is going to be pinched here. Gets it across. Feeds it over to Bauer. Bauer with it now in the circle. Sends in the middle, trying to get Bear on a one-timer, but he's stick lift by Kiffner. Sliding in with a shot, trying to get it going. Burkle on the stop, picked up Lozel. Lozel sends it down ice and connects right with the player coming out of the box, carrying it all the way, trying to pop it in was Hernsek. Now it's going to be sent back into the corner. Flynn sends it back, but he didn't put much on it. Stewart looking, shot, save, and out it comes. Trying to get going here, and pushes it up, and it's going to be spoiled. Flynn on a change, didn't play it. Pass, connected, over to Hess. Hess with it here. Hess has got Neely with him. Hess takes a shot, loses the stick of Burkle. Burkle tries to send it in. Hess trying to grab it out of the air. Aquald with it here. Tries to get it going here. The puck's going to be loose. It's going to be out front, or out in the corner to Neely. Over to Ormsby. Still, Burkle, no stick, goes across. Trying to work it here, but it's going to be turned over. Now it's bringing it up the ice. Will be Matt Stewart. Matt Stewart gets it poked away by Ormsby. Ormsby ties him up body-wise in the corner. The puck's going to be tied up in the corner. Still trying to dig it out. It's caught into the door. Now picked up. Summit with it for a second. Now back to Tempest. Back and forth it goes. Now picked up by Buffalo. Now they are with it. Hernsek's calling for it, but the shot instead is blocked. And he was open. Blocked again. Stewart. Sean Stewart spoiling it here. Picked up Aquald. Going up against Hernsek. Aquald sends it onto the boards. It's going to be O'Lade in, but not, as Aquald has to pick it up. Aquald takes a shot. It's blockered onto the boards from Burkle. Now picked up. Tempest with it. Rolls it off the glass. Aquald picks it up out of the air. Up against Stewart. Stewart breaks up the pass intended. Over to Woods. Now here we go. Sean Stewart right here, trying to get it across. Now trying to hands it in is Hernsek. Ehrman puts a hit on him, takes him off the puck. The puck's going to be sitting for the taking. Diener pops it up. Shot coming, hits the side of the net. Ehrman trying to work on it up against Matt Stewart. Picked up Woods with it here. J.D. Woods sends it across over to Justin Ehrman. Ehrman with it here, trying to get through, and he gets it through. He's taking off the play, shot! And it was high from Woods, but snapped out of the air by Chris Burkle. And a face-off coming on that hot glove side of Chris Burkle in the Buffalo Tempest zone. With 4:55 remaining in the second, sitting on twos. Pass versus Downey on the puck drop. Face-off gets picked up to Downey, but he's got it caught in the lineman skate. And then it's picked up by Summit City for the moment. Still kind of tied up there. Hess with it here. He's going to try a backhand. And he rides it across the pads. Downey will try to pick it up as he goes up against Perry. Perry trying to get it going. Downey wins the battle there. Still working in the corner. Perry putting incredible pressure on. Now it's picked up Sorrow. Now looking on the backhand. Fans it. Here's Hess in the slot. Coming up with Mellinson in tow. Takes a shot. And it's cleared out. Stopped by Burkles. He went down. Now with the pass coming across. It's going to be picked up. Mellinson picks up. Tries to feed it back, and it's going to be popped up. Bauer lets it go. As Keller was waiting on the reception there. Or Downey at least. Keller's in the action now, waiting on the puck and the hit. Puck's underneath him and Bear's skates. Going to be tied up there. It's going to be dug out by Downey. Did he outskated the puck? Perry picks up. Perry pops it out. Into the neutral goes, and Brett Bauer going down up against Losel. Bauer coming in with a shot, and he goes behind. Good stop by Burkle. Trying to feed it across over to Perry, out of reach. Picked up by Flynn. Flynn's going to look to Carlisle, but spoiled, and he'll still come out with it. And he's with the puck here, and he tries to drop it to Kiffner. Kiffner goes in the corner, and he picks up the pass behind goal line. Tied up by Bear. Puck's underneath. 3:33 remaining in the second. Flynn trying to pop it through. The puck goes into the corner. Perry goes after it. Goes up against Carlisle. Pushes it out. Here we go. Arnold with it now. Arnold gets around, almost gets around Losel. Puts on the brakes at the blue line. sends it across. Perry with a look, drops it, and he turns it over. Over to Flynn. Flynn tries to connect to Carlisle, but it's going to be turned over now. Back to Summit City, and it's now picked up by Hess. Grabbed out of the air by Neely. Neely going up with Wallop. Takes a shot, and it's sticked up into the safety netting top of the corner there by Burkle. Face-off coming in on his glove side with 3:01 remaining in the second period. We started this game out with 66 degrees here in the fort, mostly sunny skies. The high was 67, the low will be 53. But I'll tell you what, it's 130 degrees of action inside so far, and it's about to get even more heated up. Off the face-off, the pickup was by Buffalo to Loza, but he hits Hess with it. Now it goes up, Hernsack looking for it on the bouncer. Nichols trying to get a hold of it, and he does, over to Waller. And it splits through, Buffalo picks up, he couldn't connect with Neely. Sean Stewart on the pass, turns it over to Nickel. Nickel feeds it along the boards, gets it over to Hess. Goes off this feed of Sean Stewart, back to Cody Hess. Keeps it in the zone, trying to pop it through. Now it is going to be held by Nickel, but it's in the, here we go. Matt Stewart trying to get going here. It's coming back to pick up the puck, and the action is Dallas Riker. And the puck has been thrown away onto the Buffalo bench. Well, we were so close to hitting 2:22 in the second with 2-2 as the score, but it's 2:23 remaining here in the second. Looks like twos are a good number here for everybody, so make that your Powerball number. Face off on the glove side of Luke Richardson in the Summit City zone, picked up by Justin Diener. Diener off the boards, connects to Ehrman. Pushes it out, and it was almost snagged up by Woods. Turned over now, over to Ockwalt. Ockwalt's got to soccer it into his stick, and here he goes. Ockwalt with a look, takes a shot, and it's held on by Chris Burkle. Ockwalt came in strong, good effort. I don't know if that was Schmidt that took the hit on Ockwalt not to get the goaltender hit. Good defensive heads-up play by Buffalo. On the efforts of Dan Schmidt. Arnold versus Sean Stewart, picked up. Perry with a quick shot, in and out, loose. It's still sitting there. Picked up now by Hernsack. Hernsack looking to see where to go. Sends it back. Sorrow with it here. Sorrow pops it up, and it goes back on an icing against Buffalo as Diener gets back to sell it. Just under the 2-minute warning here in the second period. We'll keep adding the twos there, folks. I want to say hello to everybody up in Buffalo tuning in, cheering on for your favorite team here, as those are also cheering on for the Distillers. Face-off, it's going to be picked up by Summit City. Neely with it here, takes a quick shot. In and out of the stick it goes, and it's cleared down on another ice up against Buffalo. As they saw the attack coming early from the Distillers. Stewart versus Arnold, splits the D. Ockwalk tries to come back to save the day. Now he's got to save the attack because Matt Stewart was putting it on. Sean Stewart feeds it back over. Now it's over to Hernsack. Hernsack comes in. They give him room, take a shot, and he scores. So the first lead of the game put on by Buffalo in a do-or-die game. And it was put on by Spencer Hernsack as the Distillers parted ways there and let him come all the way in and choose the right shoulder of Luke Richardson. Pop it in the corner, far side, to take the lead with 1:32 remaining here in the second period. So a shout out to the fans in Buffalo, and you get a goal. All right, so here we go. Face off, center ice. Downey versus Hess on the puck drop. And it comes back to the Distillers, trying to clear it up. Downey on the intercept from Nichols' attempt. Melanson with him. Ormsby trying to get it out of there. Downey picks up, tries to get something backhand. Now picked up, it's going to be shot. And it is, rolls over the shoulder of Richardson. Ormsby working as Losel tries to keep it in. Losel picks it up. Shot, still working it. Picked up Keller. Keller with it now behind the goal line. Keller working on it, and the net is off. Still some action tied up as Nickel and Keller going at it. And they will come away as they are broken up here. One minute and 7 seconds remaining in the second period. 3-2 Buffalo. Face off on the stick side of Luke Richardson and Buffalo's attacking zone. Face off. It's going to be picked up by Summit for a second, but picked up Mellinson. Tries to get a shot and goes out wide. Lozo on the pickup here. Lozo gets some pressure. Puck's going to be kept in by Mellinson. Fed it into the corner. Downey trying to pick up Nickel, trying to tie him up. Nickel goes down, gets him off the puck. Now it's going to be picked up. Under a minute remaining. Arnold tries to tie up Keller. The puck goes loose. It's going to be picked up. Wilkins with a windup. Blocked by Wallum. Picked up by Nickel, but now it's going to be Downey. Picks it up out of the corner. Downey with it, feeds it back. And the pass across goes to Lozo. Lozo with a shot. Sliding across Nickel, trying to pick up here. And now it's in the slot. Now here we go. Hess trying to get it going. Now it's going to be picked up Arnold. Now coming back to try to pick it up. Wallum with it here. Feeds it over. Gives it over to Arnold. Arnold looking to go. Gets a shot, blockered into the corner off Burkle. Arnold tied up for a second, double team, hammered into the corner. Wallum with it here. Wallum trying to scoot in there, picked up by Neely, trying to get a backhand. Good defensive stop there by Keller. Keller gets a hold of it and clears it. Tries to at least. Got it stopped by Bear. Now picked up Neely with a shot. Stopped by Burkle as he's committed on the post. And the puck goes back on an icing with 1.3 seconds, but they run the clock out as Wallum. The glove almost dropped there as Wallum having a conversation with Wilkins. But he must have been waving. Looked like he was going to try to drop the glove. Don't do it, buddy. You got the lead. They hit the horn, but there's still 1.3 seconds left. There's a discussion with the officials center ice. So Wallum in the penalty box. Not a smart move to make. They're going to pull Burkle. It's going to have a man advantage here, so Burkle's going to come out. Not much of a chance. You never know. Win a face-off. You go back in the day and you saw some beautiful face-offs when everybody started going to composite sticks. Man, you can win a face-off and a shot like you wouldn't believe. But opposite end, tall order. Buffalo chooses to go on the stick side of Richardson. Loza called it, but the linesman hasn't seen it. Now he does. 1.3 seconds left in the second period. The lead to Buffalo. They have the man advantage. And if they can do it here on the draw, otherwise they'll have carryover time going into the third. On the face-off, it's going to be picked up by Hess, and that will run it out. So a minute 59 will be the man advantage coming out into the third period for Buffalo in a do-or-die game. They're showing strength and they're showing posture as they are doing well. All right, so we'll be right back. Take a break at home. Catch your breath. It's been an exciting first two periods. 40 minutes in the books, 20 minutes on tap. You're watching Summit City Distillers Hockey hosting the Buffalo Tempest in the Governor's Cup of the American Premier Hockey League on YouTube Live. We'll be right back. ready for third period action here in Fort Wayne. The Summit City Distillers hosting the Buffalo Tempest in Game 3, best of 5 for the Governor's Cup in the American Premier Hockey League. Buffalo taken to the ice first as they are on the ice here, and they will have a minute 59 of man advantage to work with coming out. We'll see if Anthony Whipple came up with anything, and we will see what head coach Graham Shear and Kyle Busch can come up with for the Summit City Distillers. Summit City now taken to the ice. Buffalo in the driver's seat as of now, and if they can try to get another power play goal here, that'll be the field goal here so they can try to manage this third period. Shots in the first, it was 11-19 in favor of Buffalo, but it was the Distillers who had the lead, but it was Summit City who came out on top with the shots in the second, with 15 game total so far of 26 against the 11 of Buffalo game total so far of 30. So Buffalo making the long trip down here, don't want to go home early, and they want to put on a show here for you this evening. Try to keep the dream and the dynasty alive and try to force a Game 5 back in Buffalo. All right, here we go. Fresh sheet of ice, 20 minutes on the clock. Face-off picked up by Buffalo as they retreat back into the zone. Picked up by Hornsack. Hornsack with it here. Hornsack feeds it across. Now looking to bring it up. On the carry, Buffalo getting in. Trying to get into the slot there. Was going to be Sean Stewart. Tiffner coming in to help. Hess keeping it tied up. Matt Stewart feeds it back to Hornsack. Hornsack gets it across. And he gets it back, and he's going to try to take a shot, but it's spoiled. Matt Stewart with it. Goes across. Buffalo with their patience, but they go ahead and try to get a shot going, and it just goes off wide on a redirect. Pass over to Hornsack. Broken up. Trying to hang on to it. Couldn't get it going. Here goes Perry, but he's going up against Matt Stewart. Matt Stewart pokes it out. Bear tries to keep it alive. Hornsack keeps it in the zone, but gets control of the puck. Almost turned over to Hess, and Hess would have been unopposed. Now it's played into the zone by Matt Stewart. Stewart hanging on to it, feeds it across. Shot blocked by Bear. Is Loso on the attempt. Stewart with it here, Matt. One time broken up, sailed out wide, Hornsby. Second effort, pipes were shut down by Richardson. Kiffner trying to send it around. Caught it in his skate there for a second, but he gets it back. It's going to be poked out. Hess on the race down, and here it comes out. Burkle. Burkle will pick it up, and he clears it around. Matt Stewart to come pick it up. Matt Stewart's hit off the play by Perry. Devin Perry puts the hit on. The puck's going to be tied up for a second. And now looking for it. Tying it up. Sean Stewart kicks it out. Goes back into the corner, picked up by Buffalo. Down to 10 seconds on the power play for Buffalo. Hornsack on the carry here, going up against Diener. Hornsack comes in with a shot, and he clears the puck back to Buffalo, right to their bench. Sorrow picks up, sends it across. Back to full strength. Matt Stewart with a look. Tries to feed it on a redirect. Hornsack picks up. Hornsack feeds it back to Stewart. Oh, off the skate. Oh, Aquald almost set it up. Diener picks up. And now it comes over to Bauer. Bauer pops it out. Hits a player on the bench as he tries to clear it. And it'll stay down in Summit City's defensive zone, but it will be 5-on-5. Arnold versus Downey. Glove side of Luke Richardson in the Summit City zone. Comes back around. Keller will pick it up. Keller tries to feed it. Diener shuts him down. He's still with the puck, however. Puts it on target. Aquald is there to shut down. Schmidt sends it back into the corner. Trying to search for it, and it's going to be picked up, played by Arnold. Arnold still battling up against Downey. Now picked up Neely with it here. Neely trying to get through. And he does, but it's going to be covered by Burkle. Face off on the glove side of Chris Burkle. Garrett Downey versus Josh Kucharski. It's going to be picked up by Buffalo for the moment. They clear it into the safety netting, and a delay of game coming up against Scardino. Same spot. Must be something in the air right down there in the ice. So Mike Scardino on a delay of game gives now the Distillers a power play as they take the face-off glove side of Chris Burkle. On the face-off, it's going to be picked up, played by Ormsby, feeds it over to Neely, back to Ormsby, he's searching for it. Stewart lays off. Over to Neely, now over to Arnold. Arnold goes across over to Hess, Hess feeds over to Neely, Neely retreats back to the blue line. Neely goes across, connects over to Arnold, Arnold gets it over to Hess, Hess with it, up to Neely, Neely takes a shot, but it's blocked, and it's picked up now, kept in possession to Thomas Neely. He's got pressure from Sean Stewart. Sorrow going after it here. Picked up Hess. Hess feeds it over to Arnold. Arnold on the carry here. And it's going to be a slash call coming up against Distillers as Richardson shuts down the puck. So a chance for Distillers to try to put the pressure on the man advantage. Finds Thomas Neely in the penalty box on a slash. So a minute 16 on the differential here. And it'll be a 44-second power play for Buffalo on the tail end of those penalties cleared out. Face-off will go on the glove side of Luke Richardson in the Summit City zone, or stick side, they go glove. Downey versus Hess in the circle. Face-off one, touched up by Richardson from Hess. Bear trying to work on it here. Bear's pushed into the boards on a boarding, picked up by Downey. As Bear looked like he was going to indicate, cross-check. He looked like he was going to indicate trying to tie the puck up on the boards, never even got touching it. So back on a power play will go the Distillers. As Garrett Downey is now in the box for Buffalo. Face-off, we're going to be on the glove side of Chris Burkle. Be 4-on-3. Running out of players on the ice. Hess on the drop, picks up the Perry. Now it gets back to Ormsby. Ormsby coming up. Drops it back to Hess. Hess taking a look. Looking for room, trying to get it going. Good defensive closure. Picked up Hess. Hess trying to shove it in. Still with the puck. Takes a shot, tries to hit Burkle. Try to get it in. Burkle sends it into the corner. Hernsack gets a hold of it. Then he launches it down ice. It's going to be picked up by Richardson. Holds it back for Arnold. Hernsack on the change for Buffalo. Arnold on the carry. Drops it back to Perry. Perry over to Hess. Hess wants to feed Perry. Perry comes up. Now here he is in the circle. Takes a shot. And just goes over the shoulder of Burkle into the safety netting. Looks like the scoreboard's bleeding out there. A lot of penalties up there in the red. 15:40 remaining here in the third. 3-2 Buffalo. Power play Distillers in the attacking zone on the stick side of Burkle. Face-off win Summit City. Arnold working on it here. He's got pressure from Stewart, but he managed to break free. Shot coming! Blockered into the corner, picked up Losel. Losel tries to get rid of it. He wants to tie it up on the board. The puck comes out. Hess with it here. Hess feeds it across over to Arnold. Arnold now back to Hess. Hess with a windup, takes a shot. Trying to get the redirect with Perry. Picked up out of the corner is Arnold. Arnold with it here. Now back to 4-on-4. Hess across. He's going to get hammered by Stewart, maybe. And the pass comes off the backhand outside the zone. Hess will pick it up. He battles up against Matt Stewart. Hess on the carry here. Setting up as if they're still on the power play. It's going to be picked up, and here's a breakaway going down the ice. Lozo got one earlier, and he's going to try to get another here. So he comes all the way in, and he shoots, gets over the shoulder of Richardson, who's committed out to poke it. It's an even strength goal, 4-on-4, and Buffalo Tempest got the goal they needed at the beginning of the third period. They got it here. As Loso's picked up a second goal here. I believe he got the goal in the first period. So the D-man putting on the action here for Buffalo to put them up 4-2 over the Summit City Distillers. Yeah, the Distillers were still kind of in power play mode and didn't see the attacking advance of Buffalo starting to swarm, and the D-man spoils it and carries it in with a shot. Tattoo on the pickup here for Buffalo, sends it in, picked up into the hands of Aiden Witt. Witt across over to Bear. Bear now on the green light. He's in the carry here. Bear drops it back to Bauer, trying to get a shot. Goes wide, comes out. Woods with an attempt, or Witt with an attempt. Picked up by Wallem, sends it over. It's over to Bear. Bear going in up against Sorrow. Sorrow picks it up and drops it back. And here comes another attempt now as Hernsek will get down past Witt. Hernsek trying to get it in. Finds the glove of Luke Richardson. All back to even strength. Face-offs coming in on the stick side of Luke Richardson in the Summit City defensive zone. Buffalo working good here to try to force game 4 tomorrow. Puck drop at 9:30. Here we go. Sorrell picks up. Sorrell picked up one earlier, caught off a shin pad. Now it's going to be picked up to Hess. Hess coming all the way in, looking for the pass, sends it across, but it's broken up. Arnold going after it as he goes up against Carlisle, pushed into the board. Fans on it on the keep here, but it's picked up by Diener back into the neutral zone, center ice. He pops it in on target and saw it for the last second was Chris Burkle, and he's hopping around and he finally just covers it. Scary moment for Chris Burkle. He didn't want to give up a garbage goal there. So that probably got his juices flowing there, so he hasn't been alert yet, which I believe he has. Might be a force to reckon with here with 13:49 remaining in the third. Face off his stick side. On the drop, it's going to be picked up, played. Wallem trying to snap one early, caught it in a stick, playable off the glass. Perry picks up. He's going up against Sean Stewart. Stewart sends it around over to Loso. Loso with it here. Sends it on the boards, picked up over to Matt Stewart. Now it's picked up. Hernsek putting the pressure on. Diener picks that up from Ockwall. On the pass, Hess sends it in. Loso goes after it into the corner up against Perry. Perry tries to play the puck and he goes down. It's going to be picked up by Hess. Hess trying to hands it in, but he turns it over to Hernsek. Hernsek trying to get through. And a slash coming up against the Distillers on the threat of Hernsek coming in on a breakaway. Sal Devin Perry in the penalty box. And another chance here for Buffalo. Summit's been good on that early PK, but on the face-off, comes back to Summit City. Ormsby trying to get rid of it. Sends it into the corner. Ehrman picks up. Still working on it here. It's taken away. Buffalo with it here. Hernsek tries to go across, but it's blocked. Goes up to Matt Stewart. Sends it across. Broken up on the pass intended to Hernsek, but it finds its way back to Kiffner. Ehrman going after it. Pokes it around and gets it cleared out. And it'll be picked up by Matt Stewart back deep into Buffalo territory. Still a minute 27 on the man advantage for Buffalo as they are coming up the ice with a head of steam, crossing the red line, drops it back into the blue line. Hernsek will pick up. Hernsek trying to weave his way through, and he sets up along the boards. Feeds it, Matt Stewart. Stewart sends it across. Picked up Hernsek. Hernsek trying to come in. Tries to get the back door, and they get another power play goal. So Buffalo controlled the entire game since the second period where they picked up the lead. And now they have garnered 3 unanswered goals, a couple power play goals, and a 4-on-4 goal, and here they are. So in this series here, it looks like the away team has the advantage as the Distillers took the trip up to Buffalo and found a couple of wins. And Buffalo comes down to Fort Wayne and is working on a win here. Distillers trying to get a hold of it here. Trying to poke it through. Mellinson there trying to stop it. Got through Tattoo. Now it comes around. Wilkins goes back up against Wallen. Wallen trying to get it through. Wilkins gets underneath of it. Still tied up along the boards behind the net. Goes out front. Cleared out. And it's going to be picked up. Downey trying to get rid of it. It's going to be kept in. Picked up Neely. And they say hand pass from Wallen as he stopped the puck. 11:57 remaining here in the third. 5-2 in favor of Buffalo. And on the hand pass, they will go face off just in front of the Buffalo bench outside of their defensive zone. Downey versus Arnold on the puck drop. It's going to be picked up and played by Arnold, but he gets it back to Wilkins. Wilkins wants to go across over to Tattoo, sneaks underneath, gets it cleared over to Downey. Downey with it here, takes a hit. It's going to be picked up Mellinson. Mellinson is going to get the puck poked, and now it's picked up, played by Chris Wallem. Wallem on the carry here. Wallem gets it across over to Arnold. Arnold with it here. Arnold's looking to get through Wilkins. It's going to be kept in. The puck comes around. Wallem picks up, sends it back onto the boards. It's going to be Keller gathers it up. Keller sends it on the glass. Over to Tattoo. Tattoo coming after it here. Wallem pushes him on the boards. And a pickup as Wilkins sends it around. And he gets it over to Keller. Keller looking, speeds it on the boards. Downey's got to put on the brakes to gather it up. He's with it here. He's got Mellinson with him. Shows the shot, but he fakes it. Goes off the boards. Comes back around. Diener with it here. Diener takes a hit. Coughs the puck up. Perez with it here. Diener trying to get it going here. Ties it Perez. Downey feeds it up. Sorrow with a look, trying to get another one himself, and he goes wide. It's going to be picked up now, played into the hands of Kehoe. Trying to get it up ice. Can Arnold get it going? And he does. Wallem goes on the change. Spoil, take it away. Oh, Perez, fans on it, coming up. Shot high off the glass. Attempt from Arnold. Now it's going to be picked up by Arnold. Sends it back. And he hits a player, and he sends it in, that being Dan Schmidt. And an icing against Buffalo. Face off on the glove side of Burkle on the drop. Trying to pick it up was Hess. And he chased after it, but Burkle shut it down. And they will try it again. Hess versus Kiffner on the drop, and it comes back, and it's picked up by Ormsby. Ormsby sends it along the boards, but it's been turned over to Lozo. Lozo with it here. Perry trying to get a hold of it here with Hess. Hess going after it. Hess will pick it up. Sends it out front. Goes past Bauer. Kept in by Nickel over to Bauer. Bauer lays it around. Out of reach of Lozo. But it will be picked up and played by Carlisle. Ormsby picks it up into the neutral zone. Goes in the middle to Hess. Back to Bauer. Back to Hess. Hess is going after it here. Hess with it here. Goes up with a shot. And shut down by Chris Burkle. Just at the halfway mark. With 9:57 remaining here in the third. Buffalo showing strength and forcing game 4. Kiffner in the penalty box. Now let's see if the Distillers can hang on to a power play here. Sean Stewart up against Alex Arnold, feeds it into the feet of Ormsby. Neely to Hess. Hess with an attempt on a wrist or pass, trying to feed over to Ormsby. Neely hanging on to it. Stewart all over him, finds its way back to Hess. Hess will go back, and he will hang on to it. He's in the slot, trying to look. He comes in, takes a shot, and it's going to be picked up and played. Stewart with it here. Stewart looking to carry, but it's kept in the zone. Now it's going to be picked up. Ormsby with a look. Goes across to Hess. Drops it to Neely. Neely trying to feed. It's a bouncer as Arnold picks it up. Still a minute 25 of man advantage here for the Distillers. Arnold with it here. Keeps it away from Matt Stewart. Neely back to Arnold. Blocked on the attempt on the skate of Matt Stewart. It's going to be picked up Cody Hess. Hess with a shot. Off the pads. Rebound out into the corner. It's going to be picked up by Hess. Hess with it here. He's going around up against Losel. Hess still with it. In motion. He's looking. Hess around the world. Drops it back. It's going to be picked up Arnold. Arnold trying to split it through. It's going to be blocked out. Sean Stewart trying to clear it out. It's going to be kept by Arnold. Over to Ormsby. Ormsby on the pickup here. 45 seconds remaining. Neely goes over to Arnold. Arnold over to Ormsby. Ormsby sneaking through. Breaks up the block here by Losel. Fed back Arnold. Losel will pick up. Sends it around. Hess will get there and hang on to it. Hess in motion here. He's going to come up. Hands it through. Take a shot. Go slow. On a pad. Rebound on a save there. Put on by Burkle. Goes up from. Arnold's going to go high. Takes the shot. And he scores! It took a minute 37 of the man advantage. Buffalo almost poked it out, but the Distillers kept it alive. And they wore down Burkle. It's a power play goal coming in at 11 minutes and 51 seconds, or 41 seconds of the third period. Face-off picked up by Buffalo. Keller with it here. Sends it back into the corner. Mellinson will try to pick it up. Sends it back around. Keller trying to get it here, but he's tied up. Downey will pick out, and the puck's going to be tipped up behind. Trying to get it going. Buffalo feeding it. It was played there by Richardson. Wallem on the carry here. Taken away, played for a second by Sorrow. Bauer got one early, gets it poked away by Downey. Bear trying to get it going. Witt will pick it up into the neutral zone. And he'll just send it in. Hits the stanchion, goes kind of crazy there. And it's going to be played now as Keller caught it in the skate. Bear trying to work it here. Feeds it off the glass. Now picked up by Kucharski. Now here it is going to be picked up Downey. Downey trying to get going. Kucharski trying to spoil. Gets the shot off, but it goes out wide. Still picked up by Buffalo. Now it's going to be picked up by the Distillers. Here they go. Kucharski with the carry here. He's looking. Change going for Summit City. Bauer going with him. Kucharski behind, and he tries to feed it. Thought that Bauer would cut in. Bauer was safe on the boards. Keller on the intercept, and now they cycle it behind. Putting the pressure on his Hess, trying to spoil the pass there. Mellinson will pick it up. Into the neutral zone it is, and it's going to be picked up by Reichert. Reichert there goes down on the play. It's going to be picked up. Hess trying to hands it in. Goes to Bauer trying to stuff it, and he scores! Good play by the Distillers as they had to work for that one. Bauer opened up the door for scoring, and now he brought him within one. Time of the goal, 13 minutes and 3 seconds of the third period. Timeout. Want to thank some of the sponsors in the timeout here. The Zachary Company, serving Northeast Indiana since 1961. Nita Moeller. Contact Carolyn Moeller. Nita Moeller and Associates. Park Mislin. New Precision Services. Noneman Realty and Rentals. Contact Mark Noneman. Dr. Lubricants, your custom blending specialist. Brava Adventures. For vacation, remember to contact Stephanie Mack and Hamilton Hunter Builders. Also give a shout out to Dexter, the proud sponsor of the Summit City Distillers. And Kickin' Country. All right, face-off, center ice. 6:57 remaining here on the faceoff. It's going to be picked up. Scardino feeds it across. Alonso caught it in the skate. Picked up Arnold. Arnold with a shot off the pads. It was sailing a little wide. Played by Burkle. On the attempted clear. Aqual takes a hit. Keeps it in the zone. Now it's going to be up to Reichert to play it as he keeps it away from Hernsack. Feeds it across. Gets it taken away. Now it's going to be picked up by Neely. Neely gets it taken. Now Stewart with it. Sean Stewart couldn't get it out of the zone. Picked up Arnold. Now here we go. Arnold gets played off the puck, but he hangs on to it. Up to Bauer, trying to hop it in. Bauer trying to send it into the neutral. Aqua with a shot. Goes out wide. Bauer trying to feed it. It's in the slot. Picked up now by Neely. Neely trying to get it. He connects to Bauer. Bauer with it here. Bauer on the carry. We'll look over to Arnold. Arnold now with some room. Takes a look. Takes a shot, but he hits a player, that of Sean Stewart. Bauer drops it back to Aqua. Aqua with a wrister. And it hits a skate and goes up into the safety netting. Tip. Face-off will be on the stick side of Chris Burkle. Six minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the third period. Downey versus Hess. And it's going to be picked up and played by Witt. Witt sends it around. Herman goes after it. Ties up his player. Now it's going to be picked up Melanson. Melanson wraps it off the glass. It's going to be picked up by Bear. Bear gets it taken away by Keller for the moment. Still gets it. Now he's looking on the pass. Connects to Hess into the skate. Comes back and it's played by Witt. Picked up Ehrman. Ehrman sends it over to Hess. Hess going over to Perry. Hess trying to get through. He gets past Sorrow. Coming all the way in. Feeds it across the shot and a save by Burkle. What a good pad save put on by Chris Burkle. On the hit. The puck's going to be caught underneath the skates of Keller and Bear. Right in front of the bench to Buffalo. Clock ticking away here. Advantage Buffalo. Still trying to get it going here. Now it's finally come free, but player Keller falls on it. Picked up Hess, but it's broken up. And here comes Downey up the ice, back with Aiden Witt. Downey comes all the way in. He takes his shot, but it's wide. On the pickup here. Put back by Melanson, picked up by Witt. Witt takes a hit, and a penalty coming up against Buffalo as Richardson comes out. The play is still alive. And finally, both officials with the arms up here saw that hit as Downey might have got a little upset on his breakaway there, went wide. So Garrett Downey in the box with 4:58 remaining. Power play coming for Summit City. Downey's called with a cross check. Officials in today's game, Robert Getzmeyer and Brian Halpern. Linesmen Michael Parrington and Jake Peacock. Face off on the glove side of Chris Burkle. Arnold versus Stewart. Picked up Ormsby, and he will hang on to it. Ormsby drops it over to Arnold. Arnold feeds Neely. Neely back to Arnold. Arnold looks, tries to get it going. It's up front, takes a shot. Rolls over the stick of Burkle, I believe, up into the safety netting as he was down. Trying to pick either corner high. But defense played well to seize on the only opportunity the Distillers had on the attempt there from Perry. Found the stick of Burkle. Face off, same spot. Ormsby picks up. And it's a bouncer as he got scooped underneath of it to get possession. And Burkle shut down the bouncer. Arnold versus Sean Stewart. Alex Arnold feeds it across over to Ormsby. Comes back to Neely. Neely sends it over to Arnold. Trying to get it through, picked up Loza, but Arnold keeps it up front. Picked up there mid-slot, and they wash the goal. They say no, it's still alive. They're still playing it. Now it's going to be picked up by Hess. Hess with it here. Hess is going to get it taken away. Down comes Neely on the race. He will pick up the puck. He's got the speed. Neely with it here. Feeds it up. Gets out of reach. Ormsby pops it in. Perry picks up. Perry coming in a minute 12 on the power play. And it pops off the side of Burkle. Feeding it back. Hess will pick it up. Hess with it here. Hess goes across over to Arnold. Back to Hess. Hess with the look here. Feeding it, trying to pop it in. Couldn't get it going was Perry. Sends it around. And Hess will come back to pick it up, and a change coming for Buffalo. Richardson sends it up to Neely. Now it's going to be picked up Arnold. Arnold drives it back to Ormsby. Ormsby goes across to Hess. Hess with it here. Hess all the way in, retreats back out of the corner. And he'll feed it back to Ormsby. Ormsby sends it hard over to Arnold. Arnold goes across, but it's going to be broken up out of play. Set up by Kiffner. Pressure coming on now. Still with 28 seconds on the man advantage. Hess with it here. Hess carrying it all the way up. Perry in the slot, now in the paint. Hess with it here, but he gets it taken away as Perez couldn't get it out. And he does manage to get it out on a hit, or Flynn, I should say. Kiffner in the action as well. Now it's picked up Hess. Hess coming up now. Here comes Hess, trying to get through. Sweet, oh, he squeezes it. Try to connect there with, and they score! It's a tie game! It's a power play goal! Devin Perry working the puck. Just gets it past. So the Distillers with 3 unanswered of their own here late in the third. We are on a tied game. Face off, center ice. Garrett Downey versus Josh Kucharski on the face-off. Face-off comes back, and it's going to be picked up by Diener. Diener with it here. Diener sends it up. Goes out of reach of Wilkins, and an icing coming up, and they blow the whistles. Kucharski couldn't get back in time. Face off back into Summit City zone on this glove side of Luke Richardson. Face off, Kucharski tying up the circle against Downey. Reichert picks it up, and he gets rid of it, ends up on the bench. .251 remaining, sitting on 5s in the third. Face off in the Summit City zone. On the face-off, it's going to be picked up by Summit City. Kucharski trying to wrap it out, and he manages to get it at least to center ice, and it's turned back over. Richardson touches it up for Diener. Diener with the puck here on the look. Gets it through Mellinson, connects it over to Wallem. Wallem tries to feed it over to Bauer, and it's going to be tipped up on the intercept there by Sorrow, or by Wilkins. Out of play, and the face-off will go center ice. Well, we saw this in game 2 up in Buffalo. Tied up game, took it down to the wire. Here we are on the face-off, played by Arnold. Gets kind of tied up. Ormsby tries to hang on to it. Sends it down, and it goes into the zone. Sarl picks up. Sarl sends it across, pushed up. And now Buffalo trying to, oh, it's spoiled by Arnold. Arnold with the carry here. Tries to get a shot. Takes a shot! Oh, what a stop by Chris Burkle. He started to commit out to his right. Arnold saw the opening and took it. Burkle with a red-hot glove shuts down the game winner, potentially, for the Distillers. Burkle said he's had enough. He's come alive. Face off on that hot glove side. It's going to be picked up now by Buffalo. Now picked up. Matt Stewart gets it taken away momentarily, come out, and it's played by Richardson. Feeds it on the board, connects to Hess. Hess takes a hit, takes the player down. And they'll call him on elbowing. So here's a chance for Buffalo, but if you remember up in game 2, it was a short-handed effort put on as Neely had fed Hess right at the end. Let's see if they can do it again, but it'll be without Hess. 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining here in the third period. 2-minute penalty on the clock. So Buffalo, if they stay patient, will try to wear down Richardson on this drive here. Or will they cough up a shorthander again on an error of some sort? Kiffner getting instructions where to be on the face-off. Kiffner versus Arnold, stick side of Richardson on the face-off, who comes back and it's played and picked up and cleared. All Arnold. Burkle picks it up, sends it into the corner as pressure was coming up. Hernsack with it here. Hernsack on the pass across. He connects over to Stewart. Sean Stewart working on it here. It's going to be picked up by Matt Stewart. Matt Stewart there has got Neely all over him. Kiffner setting up in the paint. It's going to come up to Losel. Losel's got two. He wants a Hattie. Losel with it now. Losel takes the pass. Thought he was going to try to take the shot. Stewart coming all the way and takes the shot and finds Luke Richardson. Boy, Losel would want that one back. Minute 28 on the man advantage for Buffalo. Minute 31 left in the third period. Face-off, stick side, Luke Richardson in the Distillers defensive zone. Kiffner on the drop, wins the draw. But he's getting pressure over to Matt Stewart, put on by Perry. Stewart with a shot, and he scores. Sean Stewart picks up the goal and gets it right over the left shoulder of Luke Richardson, picks the corner, and Buffalo picks up the lead with 1:23 remaining here in the third. Cody Hess still trying to argue his penalty there as he was taking a hit there and he stood firm. Down he went. And an official call here puts Buffalo back in. On the face-off, Hess trying to get it through. It's going to be picked up Buffalo. They send it down. Goes out of the reach of Ormsby. Comes back to Richardson. Richardson picks it up. He tries to get it through. Connects over to Arnold. Arnold. Richardson heading to the bench. Neely trying to get it through. Now it's going to be picked up, played by Arnold. Arnold with it here. Arnold comes in. Feeds up front. Goes out wide. Goes in the corner. Arnold with it. Hess gathers it up. Gets taken away. Arnold. Now it's going to get fed back to Neely. Neely goes into the opposite corner. Hess picks up. Under a minute remaining in the third. Takes a shot. Goes over wide. Arnold tries to tie up his guy. And it's going to be picked up as it's tied up by the linesman. So here the officials have won the game for Buffalo. Good tie up by the linesman. So this will do it here. I mean, there is just no way the Distillers will come out with this one. So 3 teams on the ice. One you can't beat. So good job for Hernsack to not give up. He played along the boards and the puck got tied up by the linesman. And he coasted down ice. Congratulations for the effort Hernsack's put on here today. Off the face-off, trying to get it through. Hess trying to keep it alive. 30-some seconds remaining. He's coming all the way in. Tries to squeeze it across. Burkle shuts him down. Now a penalty coming. And there's some after action going on here. Wilkins trying to go after Bear. Broken up by the official. Nobody needs to get tossed. You got a game tomorrow playing puck drop 9:30. Tune in. You should have warm-ups at 9 o'clock. So the official has made some calls here. Bauer's one of them. So Buffalo taking the long haul. And they show they are worthy for that cup again. And they took it to the Distillers on their home ice. They not only brought every player, they brought their heart and passion for this great sport we call hockey. And they put on a show for you here. Hess thrown out. Bear will go in to take the face-off. Well, they put Hess back in. So Hess trying to win the battle here. It's going to be picked up and cleared down the ice on the even strength here. As we see Kyle Wilkins in the box as well. So 25 seconds remaining. Face-off in the attacking zone for the Distillers on the glove side of Chris Burkle. On the draw here, Kiffner versus Hess. Hess trying to get it through. He can't get through the linesman skate. Goes out front, goes into the corner. 19 seconds remaining. And the puck's cleared down for another ice, and it'll be an icing against Buffalo. 12.7 seconds remaining here in the third period. Buffalo looking strong. Slow-mo and the puck out on the clear will eat some of the clock. Kiffner versus Hess again. This one will go fast this time down the ice. Stopped by Richardson, and it will come back for Witt to pick up, and that will do it for the game here. So congratulations to Buffalo as they came on the road trip and picked up a win. So for all the Buffalo fans, congratulations. Your team did it here. They force Game 4 tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So the drive is still alive for Buffalo. They'd given up the 2 games up in Buffalo, did not faze them. They came here today to play. So congratulations to Buffalo. So we still get to see more exciting hockey. So that'll be tomorrow at 9:30. So make sure you tune in on YouTube Live and see tomorrow's game. All right, so congratulations to Buffalo. But Summit City knows the winning ways, and they will find it tonight. Figure it out and bring that game tomorrow for you to watch this exciting sport we call hockey. Didn't get to say my tribute during the national anthem for all our soldiers, past, present, and for those who laid their life down. We thank you. Never forget them. And wherever you go tonight, folks, please be safe. If you need a ride, call someone. We want to see you back here at any one of these ice rinks, be it Buffalo or in Fort Wayne. We want to see you tune back in on YouTube because we care about you and your loved ones do. So make sure you stay safe tonight. Tune in tomorrow, and we will see some more action. And will Buffalo force Game 5 back on home ice, or will the Distillers finally find a cup win here in Fort Wayne? For all of us here, we thank you for tuning in. Have a good night, and we'll see you in the next one.